Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. So it's Saturday today and that means we are going to test something related to photography or videography. Specifically in this episode, as you could see from the thumbnail, we are going to review an action camera, the WOLFANG GA420. We know that recently lots of new action cameras have come out, and while these action cameras come once every year, this type of first entry action cameras keep populating the marketplace. And I felt that some of them can be valuable, some honestly no. And so I had already reviewed a few of them here in the channel, so I took the opportunity to review this one from WOLFANG as well. And I have here with me the 420 compared with the GoPro 9. That is my go-to camera for almost everything that I shoot outside, especially for the other two channels that I have. Size-wise, well, the WOLFANG it's smaller, it's heavier, and even if on the GoPro now I don't have the cover because I use the media mode, and it looks sturdier than the GoPro. Seems like the body it's metal, that's why probably it's heavier. And as the majority of the new action camera comes with a dual screen. Contrary differently from the GoPro, you can use only once at a time. Super surprised by the fact that it's still using the old micro USB port. Main reason, I think, not just because it costs less, is because the camera itself comes with an external microphone that is a wired one, and it works with the USB, micro USB port. But okay, we can accept it, I feel. The camera comes with two batteries. That's really nice. Not always these cameras are providing two batteries, but there is no charger. Come on. So every time you have to charge once at a time inside the camera. And honestly, I don't like this solution at all. The camera comes with a bunch of accessories, as usually for this type of cameras, and I feel like from this perspective is a good entry level camera. So if you want to again enjoy some of the content creation, I feel this camera can provide you some cheap way to enter in this field and try something new on the content creation side. But without further ado, I know that for us the most important thing is how this is going to perform on the field. So let's go out and test the different resolutions that this camera has. Just for your info, it goes to a classic 4K or 60 and 30 FPS, 2.7K, again 60 and 30 FPS, 1080p that goes 120 FPS, 60 FPS and 30 FPS, and an astonishing 720p that goes up to 240 FPS. Nowadays, I feel nobody's using 720p, but again, if you want ultra slow-mo, this camera can provide that to you. So let's go out and check the different resolutions. The first test that we are going to do is at 4K 30 FPS, and we have the stabilization on. That is usually the one that we want to test it out. So I will go back from the camera, walk and run, and we can check it out how it performs. Okay, I started, and this is walking and running through the camera. Now we are going to change the resolution to 4K 60 FPS, and still the stabilization is on. As before, walk and run. This is walking, and this is running. So what other resolution do we have available here? Well, we have the 2.7K at 60 and 30, and then we have the 1080p at 60 FPS, 30 FPS. All of these are selectable because the stabilization is on. There are other where stabilization needs to be off that we can try to check it out later. So let's go with 2.7K 60 FPS. And let's go back and do the same. Walk and shoot and run. 2.7K, 60 FPS. Walking and running. And let's change back and go to 30 FPS, always with the 2.7K. Let's go back. Okay, so 2.7K, 30 FPS. Let's start walking and running. Okay. Next one, we go back to a more common 1080p. And the only option actually available, sorry, there are two options, the 60 FPS and 30 FPS. We'll go with 60 FPS first and then 30 FPS. It's really hard. Let's go. 1080p, 60 FPS. I'm walking and running. Crazy, I got tired so easily. Let's change to 30 FPS and again walk and run. Let's start with 1080p, 30 FPS, walking and running. Now, as other resolution are actually only 720p 60 FPS available with the stabilization, but it's way too low resolution. We don't need it to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the stabilization, and automatically we have further resolutions that weren't available before. Now, I will not check all of them because it doesn't really make sense, but just for you, I will start with 4K 60 FPS without stabilization. So what's the maximum resolution that we can actually get from this camera? And let's see how it will perform. Let's go back. 4K 60 FPS, no stabilization, walking and running. Now, same things, but we go to 2.7K 60 FPS and let's see at the performance. Okie dokie, 2.7K 60 FPS, no stabilization. Walking. And running. Whew. So, The next things that I want to test with you is the first unlocked resolution, that is 1080p at 120 FPS. So for extreme slow motion. How can we test it out? Well, I think that the best way in this case is to do some actions like jumping, more than simply walking or running. Jumping may be one of the solutions that can show better what's the capability of 120 FPS resolution, so that we will jump and slow it down in Premiere and, well, enjoy how it is. So, small walk and jump. What do you think? No idea. But let me go back to the back screen, and like the majority of this camera, you just need to keep push the M button and you would switch between the two screens. And if 1080p under 20 seems like really good for slow-mo, well, we actually have 720p at 200 frames per second. Just for this exercise, this test, I will use this specific resolution, but honestly, I don't like 720p. Come on, 1080 is the standard, even if we should start thinking higher, right? So same thing, small run, walk, whatever you want to call it, and a jump, and check it out how I perform in slow motion. Let me test it out. I think it's ready. Whew. Got it. Now, let's go back to a more normal usage, at least for me. Let's go back to a standard 1080 30 FPS. This is usually the one I'm using here on the GoPro as well. And let me see if we have any other interesting options that I want to choose. And the one is a wind noise reduction, and I will put it on. So all the audio that I recorded so far here directly had the wind noise off. Of course, we are using the 7 Artisans mic to connect it to the GoPro. But let's jump to a little bit of audio test on this little fella here. And I will simply walk through the GoPro, through the camera, talking, and let's see how it performs, okay? And I will put the stabilization on just to make a little bit better video quality. So this is the 1080p, 30 frames per second. When the stabilization is on, and you are now listening the direct sound from the camera. Now there isn't too much wind, to be honest, but I choose the wind noise reduction on because I have some trees around me, and really the breeze is so small that it shouldn't affect too much, but it's good to figure it out how it can help compressing the noise, the sound through this camera. And just for reference again, this is the sound that instead you can hear from the 7 Artisans mic through the GoPro that I have in front of me. And we're back. So what do I think about the camera? Usage-wise, it's really straightforward. 3-button helps you to navigate through the menu. That is actually be done through the finger because it's a touch screen. That's good. It has a bunch of resolutions. that are not making me really happy. I feel that the 2.7K range is the one that performed with a better sharpness. A little bit not so happy for the 4K. 1080p I feel is acceptable, but yeah, let me know in the comments below which resolution you feel is the best. Audio, I didn't use the microphone, so I recorded the audio with and without noise reduction. Without noise reduction, if you just talk to the camera, and just for your info, when I recorded, I was facing the back of the camera. The audio is impressive. I didn't expect that from a camera like this. When I added the wind noise reduction, as you have heard already, of course the volume dropped down. But yeah, that's definitely good considering how this camera is, and again, the mic is here, so can't expect too much, right? But on the other hand, it's pretty good, right? Okay, so that's all for me for today. Hope you liked the video. If you have any question about the Wolfang GA420, please write it down in the comments down below. And if you're interested in this camera, I will leave the affiliate links in the description. Affiliate links means, of course, doesn't cost you anything more, but helps a lot the channel, because I will take a fraction, seriously, I think 1 cent or even less, of the purchase that you have done using these links that, again, are going to support the channel. Well guys, that's all for me for today. Thank you for watching, and as usual, till next time, stay click. Bye!